And welcome everyone to this edition of War Commander Unshackled, live Wednesdays, Maintenance Mayhem. So we've had our update this evening for Wednesday, the 7th of February, and we have some exciting changes to talk about. We've got the new gear store swap out for what tech is gone and what tech's coming in. We have a contest running, which our very own David the Douche has entered Unshackled in. So we'll talk about that real quick. And we have, of course, just our general chatter amongst ourselves. This is the first of a new sweeping expanse of anybody can come on, they can talk, we can share, we can get new faces, new opinions about things. So right now I have my panel, and I'm lucky enough to have Champ, David, Djer, Godscope, Lady Warrior, and Rambo joining me today. So hopefully a little later we'll post the link out on YouTube and we'll get some other people on, and certainly we'll post it for the after show. But in the time being, you guys want to say your hellos and then we'll get started. No?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, assholes. I love you all.
Adrian. All right. That's what we missed right there. All right. So we're going to kick this off real quick with the man who said hello, hello, hello. David's post of the Unshackled's new banner. So we've got this Unshackled awesome animation that David threw together. We suggest you go up to the forums, check under the forum discussion 726139 about the new banner contest, and vote to like it. We already got 5 likes because I just liked it now live for this banner. And eventually, from what I heard, it was going to be turned into some sort of skin or units. So that would be cool. If you want to support the Unshackled community, go out there, check it out, like it. If you don't like it and you like somebody else's, fucking like theirs. I don't give a shit. But David did put a little work into it, so show a little respect for the guy, would you?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that link posted on the Unshackled page?
Yes, it is. Yeah. I do believe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I know it is because that's where I found it.
Yes,
okay.
Indeed.
It is posted out on the Unshackled page. It is also posted out in the YouTube chat.
There you go.
Nice work. Nice work. Looks nice.
Thank you.
I like it.
I like the rain because it's been raining and sleeting and snowing all freaking day today.
Oh, I don't. Shush.
So your thing brought the outside in for me. So
I'll trade you weather.
No,
Godscope, you can just keep your cold ass shit up there. Thank you.
Sharing is caring.
All right, so let's just jump right into the actual meat of this show. I don't intend to run this show very long, probably about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. I don't do long shows because I've got better things to do with my life. So we're going to start with the 8.06 downtime and release notes. This is our maintenance that we just had today at around 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, 1:30 Pacific, I think it was.
It was like 3 hours ago.
Yeah, so this is CM Bernie. He's got a couple of these little nice little visuals. I don't know what the fuck that's for, but whatever.
The middle one looks sweet.
Yeah, Tesla coil.
Yeah, that looks awesome. I might just copy that, crop out the middle part, and submit that in the banner contest.
just throw your name over it.
Maybe next banner might have that one.
Shit, I just said that live on the show. Kicks, I don't listen to me. I was kidding.
Right.
I wasn't kidding.
You're always kidding. All right, hold on, let me get this squared away so I don't act like a complete noob. There you go. So there's your visual now that it's actually screen sharing for a change.
Do you end the show again?
This is the joys of me actually paying attention to the screen above my head instead of just staring at the screen in front of my face. So here we go. So commanders, the following changes and fixes have been applied to the Wednesday, February 7th upgrade. The February Gear Store update. Gear Store has been updated for February. Why is this all this repetition drives me nuts? Check out the new subwoofer for the War Dog and purchase technical components for the first time ever in the Gear Store. Challenge base updates. The 25, 40, and 90 challenge bases have new layouts. The level 40 and 90 are now paying out more medals, which is a godsend. So that's a good thing. Now us higher levels hitting these 90s, we're going to see a little bit better medal payouts. And for the lower levels, they get something that's not so goddamn boring. It's not so grind worthy doing the 25 over and over and over. They got a new base layout, so that's good for them. And for us, because we got new 40s and 90s too. Level 40 challenge bases now give 5K, and level 90 challenge bases will now give out 25K. So that's up from the, 3 and 15?
I believe so, yeah.
Right,
90 was 15, so yeah.
Yeah, and 40 was 3,000. So we're getting a little bit bump there, and at least a decent bump in the 90s, because that's long overdue. Building sales. And this is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So, instant upgrades of building levels will be on sale for the first time ever, beginning on this Friday, February 9th. Please note that the sales below will not be applied if you use resources to start the upgrade. So this is going to be strictly for the coiners, okay? Which I don't agree with. I think it should still apply with the resources, maybe not to the full extent, but they should have still a major discount if you actually grind out, collect resources, and start the upgrade.
Exactly.
I don't think it should be strictly gold because, again, this was a quote-unquote free-to-play model. Now you're taking that out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this game's pay to win now. It's not free to play. It's free to play, but it's pay to win.
Well, I've always said this is pay to maintain. You can play for free, but you won't stay relevant if you don't pay. There are
Well,
just
you
aspects of
can.
them.
You just won't. You won't be considered among the elite if you do not coin.
For me, it's the matter of the upgrade times in general, the build times in general, the overall time frame for doing something. If you don't coin to a certain extent to level up certain units at certain times, if you started today, you're going to be 6, 8, 12 years behind. Even if you ignore most of the preliminary units, you're starting already 3 years behind the curve.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll get into this. The building sales. So we have the walls are going to have a 99% off sale on all levels. Thorium storage is going to be 50% off for all levels. The helipad, 2 of them, I would assume. Oh, no, okay, it's separated, but yeah, they're both the same. So helipad, the original one, is going to be 50% off, and then the Tango, which is our second helipad, is also going to have a 50% off on all levels. Thorium mines are going to be 50% off on all levels, and the armory upgrades are going to be 50% off to all levels. So if you're a coiner and you haven't upgraded all these buildings, which I don't understand why a coiner wouldn't have already maxed all that stuff out anyway.
Exactly.
So it's, again, baiting with a carrot on a stick. But if you feel like coining and you haven't upgraded specifically things like your armory, your thorium storage, fuck the mines. Go collect thorium through PvP. Helipad, helipad. If you want to have larger capacity, certainly do that. Walls. At this point, I'm gonna say fuck the walls. If I go in with my jug, you're flat anyway. It don't matter what fucking walls you got in there. Your absorption walls don't absorb jack shit. I don't give a fuck what Kixeye says. Their walls need to be severely relooked at and fixed proper, but whatever.
Hey, Kixeye, we all know secretly this is a money grab. If you want to make a bunch of money, no one gives a fuck about buildings. Do this with units.
Yeah. Unit upgrades.
Exactly. I have never coined any of those. Any of those buildings, and I have some of those that are not maxed because I've been working on other things, and there's no way I'm going to coin them. I will not coin them.
Scooby's out there on YouTube, and he wants a refund. I feel you, brother. I want a refund too, bro. I want one.
And here's the other thing. And here's the other thing too that a lot of people may or may not know. If you coin these buildings, you lose XP because you do not get the full XP that you would get if you waited for it to go through its normal 2-day, 5-day, 10-day upgrade.
Even if you only coin the last 2 minutes?
No,
even if you coin the last level.
If you use res first, then coin, you get the full amount of XP. But if you just straight up coin, you do not get the XP.
Oh, okay. You get the XP, but you get a lot less. And I don't think I haven't coined a building. So
and remember, you're gaining more XP when you use res because you're gaining XP in the collection of the resources and you're gaining XP in the time frame upgrade.
Exactly.
So you're getting a double whammy by coining. So if your whole goal is to up your base from 37 to 40 or 40 to 42 or whatever, I'm ignoring the higher levels, the 45s and up, because those are fucking astronomical numbers, and this doesn't affect them at all. But if that's your main goal is to get your number level up, take the time.
Yeah.
Scoob, if Kixeye was to give you a refund, they'd go bankrupt.
I want to.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
dude, I mentioned this I don't remember what on a previous show, because I mentioned I'm a max base, right? And I mentioned the thing about the XP, my experience points getting to another level. Now Kixeye does this shit. It's only. Thank you, Kixeye. Thank you, Kixeye. I deserve a banner for my suggestion for that shit.
Not to mention, you pay less gold when you're actually upgrading than when you don't upgrade and just use gold.
Once I got to 35 or 36, somewhere in there, I was like, ain't no way. I want to stay low. I don't want to go to 42 or 44 or 45 because you get pounded on.
Yeah, and like Dijur, I've said it myself a million times, Dijur. I mean, when I'm a 44 with a 3 million ID, there is no reason that with a 3 million ID, I'm not up in the 46, 47 range. There's players with 10 million IDs that are 47s and 48s.
Yep.
Hell, I got a 23 million ID and I'm a 45.
Yeah. So I slow rolled my game because I went at this on the premise of other MMORPG games. So I went on the premise of if you slow roll and keep yourself weak in base, strong in force, and you could go out and collect what you needed to do and do goals like I was doing the events and stuff, and still have enough strength to attack a player if need be, you stay out of the shark pond, so to speak. You're kind of like, you're in the weeds and people don't realize you. And then eventually, if you really want to, you can go out and as a 27, I could pound a 38, and they get pissed off. Like, you're only 27. How come you're flattening me? Well, because I've learned skill over time. I'm not really a 27. I should be like a 32, but I've kept myself down by not upgrading certain things.
Yeah, we got a guy in my circle who's like that. He just turned to a 43 a couple weeks ago, but it doesn't matter how high of a 40 you are, 46, 47, 48, 49, you would get hammered in his base when he was a 42, and they called him a hack so many times because he was just that good, and he did the same thing. Like, his base is a low level, but all his tunes are a high level.
Now, I bit myself in the ass because I don't have I've said it, I don't have the ability or the motivation or the drive to grind like the rest of you can. I get very bored very quick. So I just say, fuck it, I got this and that's it. I do my 5 a week and that's it. I do my 1 run through of the Shadow Ops, collect my part, and that's it. I don't grind for the extra tech. I don't care, but that's me. So, at this point, I'm a very weak 44, even though I should be a very strong 46 or 45. You know what I mean? So it's like, whatever. Okay, so next on the agenda is the fixes and improvements. So, okay, I don't know why it jumped at. I don't know.
Bro.
Did that happen for everybody or just me?
Yeah, no, we're all muted.
No, I couldn't hear. What's going on?
I don't know.
Froze. We're still live.
Yeah, I know we're still live. I'm still talking. But I see Champ being the one presented, so I'm gonna quick jump over here and do the share thing again.
I don't know.
No.
You know what?
Ding, 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 ding.
I love when it does this.
Oh.
Scotty, run.
It's not me. It is not me this time, thankfully. So,
is it even still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
It's still live. It's just no presentation.
Anything off. I'm just making sure that I'm presenting the window. If not, what happened is the same thing that happens to Daba occasionally, where when you try to present a window, it just kicks you off. And I think that's what it's doing. It's not letting me present it because it's in a window. It's not actually in the.
That sucks.
That's okay. I can fix this issue.
It's stuck on temp. Is temp highlighted?
Don't be like someone else.
Temp is not highlighted. I'm not a dimwit. I'm highlighting myself.
Okay, so they can hear us, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, they can hear you. So I'll read them off. I'll read them off, and then I'll fix it in the next segment.
Yeah,
so,
don't be like someone else.
KS is a noob. Is that funny enough for you, KS?
Yeah, KS is always a noob.
Yeah, somebody logs off completely and accidentally go offline.
No, Jess. Okay. All right. So, again, back on track. The building Peacekeepers missiles no longer triggers a 2181 error for some players. Air units no longer appear in the workshop twice if a player does not have a hangar, which is an interesting issue. I'm glad that's fixed.
How could you have air and no hangar?
How can you have air twice and no hangar?
Exactly.
And then I reserve the right to just simply answer your question with the simple statement, it's Kixeye.
That's all you can say.
I've got an error dealing with my Merc base.
Yeah. Okay. I thought they fixed all those mercenary base errors.
Well, I was adding, I was like, building, and then like, I don't know what happened, and then error. I don't know what's. It was ridiculous. It was like weird.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The third fix and improvement is players stuck loading at 99% should now be able to get into the game.
Woohoo!
For now. Until that starts all over again, because this is a recurring issue that has never stopped and it will never stop. At least it's 99% and not the 50% or the 60%. Or the 65% or the 69%, which was always funny for me.
Or 81%.
81%.
Yeah, mine was 81%.
A notification has been added to inform players if this download fails. So those that get stuck in the 99, if it is not working, they're going to send a notification out to you to tell you that it didn't work. So,
well, I mean, if you try to get into the game and you're stuck at 99%, I'm pretty sure you don't really need a notification to know that it's not going to work.
Yeah, I don't see why you would actually need them to tell you.
Oh my god!
What's the point? You just got to reload and bang, you get stuck again. I mean, come on now.
Again, this is Kixeye.
I mean, the only thing that would be beneficial there is if they notified themselves that you were stuck, not notifying me.
This is called temporarily put something in place and hope that it works.
Yeah. All right. So let me see now as we go on to the February Gear Store updates, which I really do want to share. And if I can't, I'm hoping that David was smart enough to have pulled up the February. You can share it.
David's sharing, yes.
All right, so let me go over here. I will take myself off.
I've already got it. Don't worry. I already took control.
All right, there you go. So if you would be so kind, feel free to share away. You can even read it if you want.
You want me to read the highlights of the Gear Store?
Yeah, it saves me. I'm going to go get a drink.
Okay, go get yourself a drink. All right, so for the first time ever, you got, excuse me, you've got some technical tech in there that you can buy. You've got the subwoofer, woof for the War Dog. It's a ear slot. It's 100K metals. First level gives you 25% corrosion resistance. Then you got level 2, which is 50. And then you got level 3, which is immunity. Then you have the new massacre training. This is for technicals. Slot is training. Price is $78K. Effects, you got plus 10 damage to buildings for level 1. Level 2 is plus 20. Level 3 applies busted status to buildings plus 20. Then you got the new toxic weapon for the technicals. Yeah, you got to training at $78K. Level 1 gives you corrosion for 5 seconds. Level 2 is 10. Level 3 is 15. And of course, you've got the last chance items. You've got heavy fuel for Chaplain. It's 2.5. Lightweight fuel for Chaplain, 12.5. And focused nozzle is 31K. Wide nozzle is 31K as well. Sprint training, 78K. Combustion training is 78K. Now you have the unyielding armor for the Sunder, 300K medals. Unrelenting mag, 400. And the Hero Tech, 500K. Last resort is for the Herald, 250K. AA weapon kit for the Herald is 250K. And the Mega Bomb is 250K.
Jeez.
Now you can buy. Don't think anybody wants to, but you can buy the Cyclops, which is 150K. This one you may want to consider buying a few of these if you don't have any.
Mm-hmm.
Get the technical. It's 150.
Oh yeah.
So now we have tech additions to the gear store.
Woohoo!
For the technical, the Cyclops, and the Chaplain. Whoopie-doo. Anyway, our Arctic tire. You got grip tire. Those are both 12.5K. Streamlined plating. Reinforced plating, 31K. Massacre training. Tactical weapons handling.
Toxic,
whatever. It doesn't matter. you become toxic.
See, I'm giving you a chance.
78K. Deep treads, racing treads are both 25K. Wide lens, angled lens. Well, actually, wide lens is more. It's 62.5K. Angled lens is 52.5K.
Bullet avoidance.
Oh, there we go. Bullet avoidance, 150K, and explosive avoidance, 150K. Geez, do I really have to read all this crap?
Well, if you want to take a break, I'd like to elaborate on the Cyclops tech. I'm happy to see the prices there because I have my Cyclops leveled up. They're higher than level 10. They're like level 13. The better tech out of the two silvers is the angled lens because that allows it to target air. And the other one
does it now?
The other one, the wide lens, gives it a splash damage.
The one I got a real, pardon my language, bitch about is the War Dog. Why would you upgrade it when it's a one-time only use weapon?
No, there is.
You're thinking of Max.
No,
Max is one time. Max is one time, but War Dogs are not.
Yes, War Dogs were the second generation of our attack dog.
Mm-hmm.
The Max is the one-time War Dog hero unit.
Until the event.
Right. So now let's get back to this.
Sorry.
Where were we? We already did the heavy fuel.
Yeah, heavy fuel.
We're at the heavy fuel. Okay, you got heavy fuel and lightweight fuel, both 12.5K. The focus nozzle and wide nozzle are 31. Sprint training and combustion training are 78K each. Unyielding armor for the Sundar is 200K. Unrelenting mag is 200K. Didn't I just read all this? Anyway, Sundar Heroic Tech is 500K.
It's Sunder. Please don't call it Sundar.
It's Sunder, not Sundar. Sunder.
I'm just gonna say,
Sunder cats.
People are going to sleep in chat. Speed it up. Speed it up.
Yeah, Doc is going to
Oh yeah, I see.
All right, deflective tire. Deflective tire for the war rig.
His cheese fucked.
Steering knuckle, 250K. Death blades, 250K. All right, next.
Shit, man. People are going to sleep.
All right, look, I got this. All right, so removals from the gear
Good
store.
job, David. You actually did good.
You did good, David.
I did. I put everybody to sleep, so screw you all.
All right, removals from the gear store. What we've lost. Mixed Tech has come out. We've lost the units of, or Mixed Tech, which was the tungsten paneling. Tungsten paneling. I don't care. I'm fucking drinking. Tungsten paneling. The N-Class MK4. The Nyx Heroic Training.
Damn.
The Seeker unit, Valiant unit, and the Expert Tempest have been removed. And the Seeker Tech, which was the side skirts, the overhead armor, light missiles, heavy missiles, artillery drills, and OS training have been removed. Valiant Tech, including the thick-plated armor, heavy-plated armor, lightweight rotors, silent rotors, long-range accuracy, and blitz training are gone, and the Juggernaut Tech, sloped armor, corrosive rounds, and big bore engine gone. So there you go. Thank you for sharing, David.
All right, what's
Are
next?
we good?
Well, last thing on the agenda, and if you guys want to talk about anything, that's fine, but I did want to bring up Kixeye's third round of third-party overseeing fucking shit in the game. So they've outsourced yet another thing in this game, and it touches on something that we've had as a topic in the past. So Kixeye has started a Discord. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with Discord, which is a chat format similar to
TeamSpeak.
TeamSpeak in the audio, but it also has the text. So
this is TeamSpeak / raid call.
Yes.
I like raid call.
It's like Google Hangouts, but with a better chat, like text chat system.
Yes. So it's
I'm in that server.
raid call meets combined with
Okay, yes, you're
Google Hangouts. And there you go. Is it easy to figure out? Yes. It's not that hard, but you do have to register. You do have to. Honestly, I don't like the web version. It sucks. So you're going to have to download the real version of it.
So is the point of this is the point of this Kixeye offering or extending an olive branch to us, the community, saying, "Hey, we would like to talk to you guys and get you guys' thoughts on shit here."
I'm glad. I'm so glad you stated that. My personal opinion, take it for what it's worth, is this is fucking half bullshit and half a good godsend. One, I jumped on just to see how they were going to run it. Now, for those of us who coin, we were supposed to have this wonderful interactive communication with Kixeye customer service, which fell to the wayside quickly for most players, and eventually to all players, I think. This begs an opportunity to be in contact with Kixeye more frequently through this Discord server system. So that is a good thing. However, in talking to Daba, I don't know, but I want him to pressure Kixeye into, are they going to have 2 or so members of Kixeye staff, not necessarily customer service members, but community members, on that Discord 24/7 365.
What I'm interested in is what you have highlighted there. It says no vulgar or inappropriate language. I'm just curious of what they, because I say fuck and shit a lot. And,
those are TOSs because, again, this is Discord. This is a third-party platform. This is not Kixeye running this. This is a company that's running it. They're using a free thing.
They're just using a communication platform. That's all.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is where it upsets me because, like I said, when I say this is the third time they've done this, it's actually probably the fourth time they've done this because they've outsourced customer service twice First, they outsourced it to a third-party company in God knows where, and then now they've outsourced customer service to our trusted Kixeye player experts. That's one. Prior to that, they outsourced our gold. They took it out of their system and gave it to Excello, or whatever the fuck the name of the company is, to run all the gold purchases. So that's third-party platforms. Now your purchases go through somebody else. All of this only insinuates to me one of two things. One, they're trying to shun all issues and have plausible deniability to anything. So basically, if something goes wrong, there will be a point where they can just say, well, fuck you, you take it up with them. Gold purchases go wrong, fuck you, take it up with Ocello. We're not giving you any more gold. We're not reimbursing you for your losses. Compensation then drops into the tank. This is just worrisome for me. For the player experts, they had the forums, they had that ability to get information. I don't know why they went with this player experts thing when they could have just opened up, like I said, the community feedback portion of the Kixeye forums platform, but whatever. So that outsources a lot of it gives them plausible deniability and gets rid of a lot of their headaches on their side. So a lot of this is just taking a back from having to have too much involvement with us. So it on the surface, it seems like they're putting that olive branch out and extending for better communication. But I'm a cynical person, so in the back of my mind, it also leaves them a great swath of ability to regress and take steps back.
One other thing that I think you're missing here is they don't have to spend as much money on support.
That's the second thing. This is also something that corporations do when they're hemorrhaging money and not bringing in bankroll.
Dr. Phil made a point. This is going to be this third party, but it's going to be on Kixeye's page, so it's going to be owned by Kixeye. So they get to make up
they run. It's similar to it's similar to Facebook.
Yeah, because they have bots. You can put bots in the channel. Oh, yeah. And then you can ban words and phrases to limit the toxicity, because that's what the YouTube chat's saying right now. They're saying that it's going to be incredibly toxic, but realistically it won't, because they can have several bots in each one of their channels, and they will have an extensive list of banned words and phrases. So I don't think it'll be very toxic.
My general question is, this is going to give us the opportunity to talk to Kixeye. I mean, it will give us a chance to talk to Bernie or
Bernie's been in there, and again, that's why I said I wanted to stress to them to have somebody representing at least in there 24/7, because there is different time zones around the world. From what I was in, obviously it was just the infantile, first goings of it. But what I was in there, Bernie had already left by the time I logged on, and I logged on around 8:45, 9 o'clock at night, which is, in my mind, a good time to be present, because there are people finishing up dinner with the family, then they go and play an hour or two before they go to bed. Mm-hmm. So,
dude, you got to think about it this way, dude. These guys, these Kixeye guys, Bernie and all of them, they're on the West Coast. They're my time, dude. You're East Coast. So when you say,
and that's my point.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think Pacific time here, man.
And I'm stating
but
I have the Discord.
Point. I mean, that's the end of their workday, but they should be extending their workday for those of us that are on the East Coast who may not come in and play until 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and my point have somebody there.
It doesn't have to be Bernie. It could be a representative, because after all, this is supposed to be an instantaneous free flow of information. If there's an issue, there's no benefit in having this Discord where you have us chatting amongst ourselves to get something to them, and then, okay, well, when we come into the office tomorrow at 6:15, we'll pull it up on the screen and read over last night's shit. That's no different than the fucking forum platform we already have.
You want to know what the benefit is? I have the Discord up right now. There's several different channels where they post other stuff. There are 38 people in this Discord, counting the mods and CM Bernie. So if you type into the Discord, there's only 38 people in it. There is a better chance of there's a better chance of Bernie and them seeing the problems that you're having than if you were to take it to the forums or customer support.
Yeah. Now Jason said it. Jason said in the side chat that he's been in. Bernie's been in there answering questions all afternoon.
Yeah, he's online right now. So is Cybertoad.
Yeah, that's and I'm sure other mods will be in there a little later. I know Troy is in there from the wiki. He's in there.
Yep, he's in here.
Yep. So I mean, like I said, it's not that I'm shunning it right off the bat. It's still in its infancy and it's got time to grow. But I don't know. It seems like they're just spur of the moment did this, and I don't know. I just think there could have been better ways to facilitate this. If they do turn around and have, Cyber or one of those guys in there during an overnight shift, and then they swap out for somebody else during the days, and they run somebody in there constantly, fine. Eventually, it's going to fill up just like the forums fill up. So, for those that are willing to enter the Discord system and download it, it's going to get filled.
And another good thing about it too is, like with them, like even with Bernie, when he goes home after work, if he wants to check and see what's going on,
he can pull it up on his phone.
He brings up his phone, pulls it up, and can read through the messages and reply like that.
Which is the good thing about the customer service experts, the customer player experts, which is, they can get that little alert, and if they're sitting on their lunch break and they have viable information, they can help service a player with an issue from their phone.
I just hope they're.
Yeah, well, depending. But I mean, I depending on what happens. But I don't know. Like I say, I'm a cynical person when it comes to certain things like this. I mean, I've seen companies that were going to the wayside and they start dumping money into all kinds of stupid shit for no reason. At least Kickstarter's not dumping money into a whole bunch of shit, and they're making money. I mean, this is still a viable company, but I think they're wasting effort on certain things that they could have focused very valuable resources on. So we'll see.
Hey, David Douche, I'm interested to see who your friend requests are. I want to see those. Who's the three friend requests up there, man? I want to see.
Those have been.
What's that message, man? We all want to see them.
It's so important.
It could be considered doxing, and I'm not going to do that. So.
It's not David Douche. It's David the Douche.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Douche David. My bad.
That's okay.
I'm going to change his name.
Do you call him Chimp?
Yep, I call him Chimp.
No, we will not call Chimp. Oh, that is pretty damn funny, though. But no, we will not. We'll be nice here.
Jesus Christ, David.
I do have one post to show after all this, and it was Wrong Thinker responding to somebody.
Agreed, Phil.
What Doc say? I'm not.
No, he said if you're gonna get into the Discord program, to download it because the web version, like the browser version, sucks.
Didn't I say that earlier?
You may have.
I have. So
Doc's been repeating it over and over again for like the last 15 minutes in the YouTube chat, so I figured I'd just bring it to light so you'd be quiet.
All right, let me show you this thing here. Somebody posted. Okay, very hard bases. All right. Of course, I mean broken English, whatever. But it says, "Kickside, please say me one. How can you take your hard bases, players with low levels, or players with low level units? Use your brain here, or we don't want new players to join this game without others' help. We can't do nothing." I really begin hating this game. You get drugs or you get drunk.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. All right. Cybertoad did respond. I mean, it's a good response. I mean, you work your way through the existing bases you can defeat. Once you're strong enough, take the harder bases you struggle with now. Having Kickside nerf the game so you can advance makes no sense. We all play through the game at different speeds. Very true. All right.
Good answer, Cybertoad.
All right, and here is Wrong Thinker's response. Okay, we actually expect and are planning on to make it easier for lower levels to get a hold of faction era content very soon, within the next 6 weeks or so. Well, can we get the leaderboard fixed first?
Please.
We've reached the point where the game can't really be played unless you have at least Liberators. Until we release some improvements on this game front, definitely focus on doing the bases you can, especially taking the opportunity to grab cheap faction units wherever they are available. Upgrade your thorium storages and mines. You won't be top competitor in a few weeks, but you should be able to make good progress. Good luck.
And right there is a fucking statement of profiteer. Cheap faction units. That's picking them up in the gold sale packs.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but that is a passive way of saying, grab the gold cheap faction units pack. That's what they're asking. Wherever they're available.
We understand what they're asking. This is why we have this show. All right? We understand what kicks I want. They want people to spend more money. Fine. Okay? Let's move past that point, all right? Let's all fucking move past that shit.
All I had to do was remove the word cheap. Just opportunities to grab faction units wherever they're available.
Dude, here's my fucking point, man. Please, can I talk?
No. Yes, you can speak.
Dude, I have a friend. She just came back after 3 years from quitting the game. We already got her fucking war rig. We got a Fury. We're getting her Liberators. This is not an impossible thing to come back. So we're building her up. So, I mean, if you want to play solo, that's up to you. That's not the way to go. I mean, if you're coming back from quitting or if you're starting out fresh,
join a team.
It's a must. You cannot get through this game alone. All right.
Unless you're a whale.
Unless you have won the lottery, or you're very, you have a lot of money to spend on this game. You're not going to do this shit alone. You're going to need a good clan. So you get with a bunch of good guys. They're going to help you build your shit. They're going to do metal bases. They're going to help you get those units in the gear store. They're going to help you get up whatever base that comes out, and you'll be able to catch up.
And you want to know what I want?
But surely.
And you want to know what I want? I want the fucking the group attributes that they were supposed to roll out. I want all the shit that was supposed to be part of these alliance features that we were supposed to have. What about this capture the flag bullshit that they said they were going to roll out, which isn't coming? They haven't fixed the fucking leaderboard. They haven't given us all this stuff. Years and years ago, they gave us these opportunities to do things as group activities where you got all your friends together and you went out as a team and did shit. The only thing that is besides personal players going out and doing PvP, the only in-game actual content that is for groups is the fucking raid bases.
And that's only for 3 people.
Yep. So fuck that.
You know what I want?
That's the 4-star.
Do away with all the factions. I don't care if it's sitting on yada yada yada. Get rid of it. I've never agreed with it. I've never liked it. And limiting.
I'm not talking about factions. I'm talking about groups like clans.
I understand what you're saying, but
okay.
Back to your point before that. Okay, is I cannot stand being limited to a faction in an event. I can only hit this base with that. And if I don't have that, excuse me, kiss my what? I mean, it just is not right, and it should all just go away.
I don't know, man. I'm loving Warpath. I'm liking the new stuff Kickstarter's going with. Yes, there are coiners, non-coiners, but that's why we all, I've said this many times before. We don't play this game strictly because of the game. We play it for the people. We have a lot of friends we've made on this game. We play for each other. We're helping each other out. We have both. We should, at least in my clan or, my friends. A lot of them coin. A lot of them don't coin. For those that don't coin, I help them out as much as I can. Other friends help, other people out. it's about helping our friends out, dude. And it's the way this game has always been. It's the way it's going to stay. And, I mean, coming back, comeback players, I welcome them all. You want to come back to the game? I'd be more than willing to help you out. My biggest freaking complaint about this stupid fucking game is the disconnects and shit I get especially if I attack a PvP base, deploy my Herald, I actually forget I have it on fucking Ruby, boom, disconnect, lose my fucking Herald. Disconnects on this fucking game piss me off more than I've been disconnected for this fucking game for 10 minutes straight. It just pisses me off. So I'd wish that could be fixed. I don't know if it could be fixed with internet. Don't say clear your cookies and cache. I'll kick your fucking ass. Okay.
I got a solution.
The only way for them to fix it is to open up more servers. They need to have a stronger, stable server.
And actually, change Flash Player into HTML5.
They can't. They won't do that.
Yeah,
They are.
They're going to be forced to here real shortly.
Hang on,
Yeah.
guys. Hang on. Back to that. There was a post. I can't remember who did it. They were talking about, I think it was Scobocop that did the post, about talking of changing platforms. They were working on it for within the next year. And I think it was like 6 months ago. They were talking about going to HTML5 or some other platform. So that may be why this stuff isn't fixed, because they're pouring all the stuff that they can into switching it over to a different platform.
I would be pleasantly surprised if that came to fruition. I could see them running certain aspects in that code, but at the root core of this, I don't see them coming off of Flash. Now, Flash will go the way of the dodo. It will no longer be supported, but it'll still run. I mean, it's not like the game's going to collapse. It's not like the 2000 glitch where all of a sudden the entire world comes to an end. No, that's not how it works.
That all depends on if they still support the Flash software.
Well,
look, you can run Windows 8 on your computer. You don't have to be on Windows Vista. It's still operating.
Still on 7.
Okay, it's still operating. The problem is it is no longer a supported format that continues to get proper updates, continues to get proper repairs and fixes. That's the difference. That's what people seem to think. They think that this is just going to implode upon itself. I don't think that. I'm not a computer savvy person, so don't take this as gospel. But I don't think that's how it works. I just think that eventually it comes to a point where there's going to be issues. They're going to be exaggerated over time because there's nothing there to remedy those issues. And that's the way that the game slowly but surely would die out if it is not picked up and rewritten onto a new platform, be it HTML5 or whatever. That said, the game's still got a long life ahead of it, I would assume. So if they are writing, this into a new script and into this new format, okay, I personally don't see them wasting the energy on it, because if that was the case, I don't think they would keep throwing as much as they're throwing out at us as it is. We would actually have seen quite a bit of a slowdown in content release, because they'd be focusing a lot of their attributes to writing the new code, and these new texts that come out, and these new items would come out on that code. Why would they write them into this and then write them again, or a similar version? I don't get it. But that's me. That's my novice, question.
Yeah. Okay, just to go back to this whole, I'm learning how to play thing. And I understand there's a lot of people out there that will help returning players, especially if you had friends and kept in touch before while you were gone. Yeah, you're going to get help. But a new player in this game, it's difficult for them to join a clan, and this is only because of politics. Are you a spy? Hear that every single time I see it.
We're not getting into politics.
No. I know. We're not going to even talk about politics, but I'm saying everybody needs to stop for a second and look at some of these lower players and realize that they are in fact new players and give them a helping hand.
I used to, it used to be if you were a low player, you could go into a sector, you'd say hello, the people would say hello, you could hang out for a couple of hours, you could figure out what the hell's going on, they would help you, they would ask you some information. In the last 2 years, you go into a sector, you say anything, you're in a bubble.
Yep. Exactly. And that's the point I'm trying to bring across here, because again, and we're not going to get into the political discussion, but it is all about politics, because they think that this new level 3 or 4 is a mini of somebody from an enemy, so they're not going to give them a hand. When in fact, oftentimes I found they are in fact a new player and they really truly don't have a clue and they need some help.
Welcome to
Well, the reason why they get
all of the politics for a second and really determine, is this a new player or is this a mini? If it's a mini, do whatever you want to it. If it's a new player, give them a hand, help them out.
The reason why the new players get slammed in the sectors is because Kixeye screwed up and took away the level lock. So now you get all these level 30 and 40 and up farmers that sit in the sector and do nothing to get their PvP for going around hitting little level 20 bases that can't defend themselves.
Oh, yeah, and I wish they would bring that level lock back. I truly do. I truly do. I wish they'd bring it back.
Here's an idea for Kixeye for the lower levels, okay, for the new players coming. This one's free of charge. I remember when we all first started, we had to do that little honey badger event. How many of you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
All right, bring something similar to that back, but you give them their liberators, you give them the chaplains, something, That way they're getting a viable unit. That's what I said.
This was brought up. I sorry, I don't remember if it was you talking or not, but I remember talking to somebody about the side missions. Yeah. Side missions that start with your original entry into the game.
Yep.
Instead of earning challengers and paladins and all that bullshit, they should be. Now I said they should be earning the legendary units, but the legendary units are not fucking good to anybody except in PvP. And you need these new players to have a tank of that kind of caliber of ability, but usable in PvE so they can gain what they need to gain.
And I'm going to say this. Don't just give them the unit. Give them a little bit of tech. It doesn't have to be silver or gold. Give them the bronze, Give
them something.
When you give it to them. All right? I mean, I can't remember. What was the honey badger? 24 levels or something like that? 24 waves, 25 waves? That was so long ago. But,
It's real simple. You make the mini event where you have to go and defeat these 2 bases. You defeat the 2 bases, you get a package of, 3 whatever. Then that unlocks the next track in that event, in that mini event, which is go complete these 2 tasks specifically designed for that unit, and it'll unlock tech for those units.
Yeah.
Then you go on to a different aspect, a different unit. So say it starts out with liberators. You go and do this, and then you collect 10 liberators. You take those 10 liberators, and you have to go collect these 2 bases or 3 bases, and that'll give you 15 tech for those liberators. You know what I mean? So you can equip whatever.
Only for level of something in lower, and not just
absolutely lower. Yeah, and then after you've completed that task, then it goes on to say I don't want to say technicals or phalanx, but a tank. Then it goes from a tank to an air unit. Then from an air unit to a troop to a tank to and it goes round robin until you can collect units and tech, and then you've created over the span of maybe it takes a month to go through these little mini events, but now you've amassed enough of a general military overall collection to go do stuff to collect thorium.
Make them viable in the game. That's basically what
exactly. They might be able to get, a little farther into the event. And I have to say this, this last event, giving those lower prizes for those first, I don't know what, 5 or 6, event levels. That was good for the low levels. For me, I was like, I don't need these anymore, but it didn't matter. But it was nice for them. But at least if they did something like what you're suggesting, Venom, and then
Oh, David.
At least when it comes event time, they might actually be able to get somewhere, as opposed to getting to their third base and screaming help.
Yeah, help.
And then getting to the one hit base and they can't go any farther. They can't get a restart.
Yeah, the restart token has got to be before the indivial play base.
I agree with that. And when I did my poll for the event, I did put that in my poll that's something they really needed to do to give these lower levels a better leg up to help them, have some fun.
Especially because they already made the payouts for XP so moderate at the low levels anyway. They've reduced those low level pays. They've given equipment and tech and units instead.
Right.
So adding the restart token back to that low range so that they can, if they can't get through that through kill the 100 units or the one and done attack wave, that they can restart, and they're still going to have to grind the shit out of it to earn any prizes in the store. But at the same time, you're giving the ability to at least collect units. Then next month, completely. They won't have to worry. They can get through that one attack base because they've got the units from the previous event. Provided, again, like you said, the units are viable in game.
Well, not only the units, but the tech they give with it.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many times you're given some worthless piece of tech for a unit, and it does you nothing but no good.
Yeah.
I mean, how many techs are there that are worthy of having for a unit? And there aren't that many.
Well, I'm cautious to say that because there's still players out there. There's City and there's Godscope and
we need specific examples of what you're talking about, man, because there's a lot of tech out there that does a lot of good, man.
And it's underrated and undervalued, and people don't use it because it doesn't fit their personal style.
I don't want to say
you could fucking flatten the shit out of people's stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say, hey, man, this tech's a piece of shit when someone can use that tech for something like it really does them well on something,
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna talk shit about the tech that comes out because I haven't experimented with it all myself. I pretty much have all the tech.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. I appreciate. I mean, I agree with this year. There's a lot of stuff out there that just seems absolutely useless. I mean, for example, there's a lot of anti-cryo things. I've never put, but outside of FAVs, I never used the tires, the snow tires. I never used any anti-cryo stuff. I don't care. It doesn't, nothing, especially now in the game with phalanx and technicals, none of that is slow enough at the on-start that the cryo effect really does a damn bit of damage. By the time you hit that puddle of ice, it slows you down for a blink, and you're still got the range and got the power to take out whatever you're going to take out. That being said, cryo itself is a very useful tech against things. So even though I've never personally put the anti-cryo tech on anything that I've ever really used, because I just don't care, that's not to say that it's not a valuable tech to have. It seems worthless to me, and maybe to a lot of people or some people, but there's 10 times as many people out there that are like, you got to fucking put the cryo tires on.
Well, I'll give you an example here. I still have cryo turrets in my base, right?
Mm-hmm.
And general tech strategy nowadays seems to be phalanx, right?
Mm-hmm.
And phalanx, what do they have? Anti-cryo tires, and what's the other one? Anti-mine tires or some shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you come into my base, you test the difference of whether it probably won't make too much of a difference, but I can guarantee you my crows are going to slow your fucking phalanx down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. See, that's why I say it's a prime example. I would dismiss it, and yet something that I would dismiss as a useless piece of equipment is actually beneficial going up against a high-level player.
Yep.
All right.
Couple of just real quick interesting points that brought up when you were talking about the little mini events for the lower levels to earn things. Mm-hmm. Iron Hand actually made up a good point. That would actually teach them how to use the units and learn how to fight.
Exactly. That was the point of those. I mean, the whole point of it was the tutorial itself was a teaching lesson. Anyway.
And CJ brought up another good point that said that maybe some of those that we're earning could be pre-built, because not all of these lower levels are going to have their storages to the point where they can build these units, especially ones that are thorium only, 33 million thorium. A level 15 is not going to have the ability to build that unit, but it might be nice to give them a couple. They'll just have to watch the overcap.
What happened in the prior events, what happened in those side tutorial missions, you got resources with it. You got tech, occasionally you got resources, you got oil and metal. They can upgrade that to modern gameplay. Give banks of thorium. So they give you, say, I'm using examples, this probably wouldn't be what you get, but say you did a mission and you were given an unlock of 3 phalanx, and each phalanx costs how much thorium?
I think it's 33 million.
Okay, so you get the 3 phalanx and you get, say, 66 million thor. You don't get to build all 3, but you can build the first 2.
Wait a minute.
Take those 2, go out a thorium base and get the thorium to build the 3rd.
How many low levels have got enough storage space to hold that much?
I understand that.
Let it go over cap.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You'll go over cap with space. There's a lot of issues with it, but you got to work that thing out. You unlock the thorium vault. You do this. That's all progressive. And I was using that as an example. I know, like I said, it wouldn't be what would come because that's a thorium only build, and you wouldn't be at that progressed level. So these would be lesser units than a phalanx, but I was just using that as a
I'm agreeing with you.
Right.
Yeah. It's just too much.
I would say a howler. I would say a howler at that point.
Okay, howlers.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Howlers and
A
liberators.
good solution for that though would be to make like tiers. So and lock it to like the base levels. So like the first set of tiers would be like the first 10 levels of your base or 15 levels of your base, and it would have things like liberators and Spartans in it. And then the second tier would be, you wouldn't be able to do it until you get your base to like level 20 or 25, but it would give you a higher tier unit, like maybe you have a progression of them. And so like maybe you will get like 1 or 2 phalanx, but it'll be like in the 3rd tier once your base is like level 30 or something.
What you guys are talking about is it's a great idea, man. But you're gonna fuck Kicks up with trying to introduce that code and it's just gonna fuck up the game, man. Let's do something simple here, I mean, let's get an easy way for these lower level players to get the units they need rather than restructuring the whole fucking game. Because Kicks
you still use the same format they have in the bottom corner there, where you had to achieve those certain goals. You just add a few more tags in there, saying you do this, you get that. You do this, you get that. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
And the best thing for low levels. The best thing for low levels that I've found, and we rag on it a lot because we're higher levels, but the best thing that is out there for low levels comes once a year, and it's the 12 days of Kicksmas. They need to do something like that more often. That is perfect for low levels because they get these units and they're all pre-built.
Yeah.
But then they put them over capacity and then they get called a fucking cheat.
Yeah.
A bunch of tickets get set on them. you got a 27 going, I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, an easy solution for that is just not to give them 12 jackals, to give them, 5 liberators.
Yeah.
I like the rest of my 12 jackals.
Hey, don't fuck me out of having the units.
Exactly. I like that resource.
You're right. Don't give them 12 jackals.
Yeah.
Give them,
I love
12 juggernauts.
Ooh, there we go. 12
juggernauts.
It doesn't have to be 12 items either,
No. Well, no, it does. It does. It's supposed to follow the fucking song, damn it. It's 12, 11. There's 12 days of Christmas. You start with 12 whatever, and it's finally at the partridge on a pear tree or whatever the fuck it
was. Give them all the leftover disruptors.
Yes.
Disruptors.
That's in the go-go bar. Disruptors?
Oh, and Dale, you weren't the only one that was over cap.
No, I was over cap.
I was over cap. I'm like,
I had
oh,
to scrap
shoot.
shit. I had to scrap shit, and it pained me because I didn't want to scrap anything.
Hey, I only have one comment on that. I don't want the strippers in my go-go bar to de-strip.
Recently I looked at my Merc camp and I saw I was over level. It must have been over level for like well over a year or two. I'm like, that's why I used them in. Let me see.
That was an old glitch.
Yeah, I had that. I didn't realize that. I'm like, I used them in the technical base.
Well, yeah, you get rid of them, and now you can't build any more than what you're supposed to have.
Yeah, I built more, and all of a sudden one of them went back to 0, so I rebuilt again, and I got an error. I'm like, what?
I remember
Okay.
I had that. That was an issue a long time ago. Anyway,
back on topic.
Whatever
topic
was.
was.
The topic? Yeah, see, what was the topic? The topic was, this is the open format. This show is about talking. It's not
Wait a
just
minute. We missed the technical post. What technical post did we miss? Anybody know?
Well, there's technical. Here's a question for you guys. So they got the 150 survivors bases out today. You can apparently hit these bases with different units other than the berserkers.
Breachers.
Whatever the fuck those stupid units are called. Okay. So we get tokens from these bases. My question is, do we get technical tokens? Yes or no?
I have not received technical tokens yet. I did. I've done 2 that I've paid attention to the tokens, and I got disruptor tokens and liberator tokens. And I was trying to get logged in here to see.
Yeah. Breachers, berserkers, it doesn't matter. They're pieces of shit anyway, so it doesn't matter. No technicals, says YouTube. Okay, thank you. That sucks.
Well, we have today. Today is our also. Just to recap, it's the Omega War Rig base. Comes out for 48 hours.
Yeah,
for 48 hours.
I posted the forum link for the tech post in the side chat here.
Oh, thank you. Let me go over that.
Its name is Loading Screen Woes in You by Friendly Fixer.
Oh.
I can't even pull it up. How weird.
That's nice. Well, you're just having all kinds of issues, aren't you there?
All right.
Yeah. For once I am.
Right. Yes.
There we go.
Friendly Fixer, War Commander Game Team Representative. I can still not share, so I leave it to the douche
Hammer
master.
Lid, Bonesaw, Disruptor. What other?
All right. This is my first post on here. I have a couple of things to share with you.
Yeah, detonator.
Yes. First, a little about who I am. Nobody cares. I'm a staff engineer at Kixeye. Okay, so I do care. It's actually useful. I'm a staff engineer at Kixeye. Some say the staffiest of. Okay, I'm not fucking living your stupid jokes. I'm not into nerdgasms. Needless to say, the main thing I want to talk about is the game loader, otherwise known as game loader. Yeah. Okay. In our code. No, I don't know why someone thought it was a good idea to capitalize the class name, but I find it endlessly amusing. Well, what is it? Like many Flash games, War Commander uses a game loader to serve as the actual game to you. This has many technical reasons behind it, but the simplest is that Flash loads the entire application when you embed it in a page. Before it shows anything, your game is around 8 megs in size. This means you could be waiting a while before even seeing anything. So this is actually a good post. Thank you for bringing that up. Whoever said that in YouTube. So this is basically, Dr. Phil, way to go, bro.
Yeah.
So this is in regards to the loading errors we have, where basically you load the base and it takes forever for it to react to you. To get around this, we first load a very tiny application, which is job is to actually a game report and progress to report the game's progress to you. Sounds simple. Turns out that making sure this works well for everyone is a bit more complicated and has a variety of ways it can go wrong. High level. The loader first downloads the game flash file. It reports fake progress and tries to smooth out jerky downloads. If the progress doesn't change in half a second, it slowly ticks up anyway. The idea is that the download will catch up. This takes the progress bar to 60%. So this, again, is part of that 99% loading error, I'm sure. Also, I'm assuming. This has a lot to do with everything loading in the game. At 60%, the game is downloaded and unpacked. The next bit is setting up the game code. When done, the progress jumps to 80%. At 80%, the game itself downloads the battle engine and initializes the data. This quite often freezes the web page because it's a lot of data. The game then logs the user in and removes the game loader, showing the loading cog instead. After all of this is done, the game has now completely taken over for the loader, and everyone is happy. How could this go wrong? Oh, so many ways. All right. So he goes on to say, first, some of you may have played on a non-standard platform. We officially only support Kickside.com, Facebook, and Game Room. If you are playing the game embedded on some other page, then great, you are playing the game, and that makes me happy. However, we do not support that method of play and cannot guarantee that it will work every time. Second, some of you like to run the game with memory modification programs running. I'm sure it's only so that you can customize the experience that you have in your own hilarious sound effects instead of, I don't know what, no, that's African. Who doesn't like to hear Max meow? Seriously, though, the software can cause the game to simply not load. Well, that's a good thing. Fuck them. Third, we screw up our game loader. It's not as clever as it pretends to be. It can't stop you from doing the first two. I honestly don't want...
Wait. Do we just now have a forum post of someone in the Kickside team admitting they made a mistake?
Up. Yeah.
Keep going.
Our game loader.
Yep. And he's going to explain it. Apparently.
Yeah, and I'm completely flabbergasted that he's still logged in, because I would expect him to have his walking papers and the security guards walking him out the front door an hour ago. So third, we screw up our great game loader. It's not as clever as it pretends to be. I can't stop you from doing the first two, and honestly don't want to try. I can work on the last one, though. That's on us. If you'll bear with me a little bit longer, I'll explain how. So this is explaining how they can rectify issues with the game loader itself. The game loader attempts to be very smart in how it provides a good loading experience for all players. I personally developed a very powerful machine that is inside our network. So I get great download speed and startup times. Some of you are playing on a potato that is connected to the internet through Silly String.
That's me.
Yeah, well, yeah, but yours runs better than mine, and mine's not collected by no fucking Silly String. Downloading through a 3G network is much less fun than through a broadband connection, obviously. Similarly, it just takes longer for lower-powered computers to crush through all the data and the battle system needs. The loader tries to account for this by having a fake progress value, always counting up. So you have some progress to look at. It's also has a mechanism that checks progress to see if it has stalled. In other words, if your download stops for some reason, lastly, the loader stops the progress at 99% since it isn't quite done. Okay, so that explains the 99% loading problem that people weren't being able to get into the game. They were locked out. Surprisingly, these things do not play well together. If the network is slow enough at the download, then the fake progress will eventually just get to 99%. Then the stalled progress checker finds that nothing is changing, kills the download, and tries again. It will retry a maximum of 5 times and then nothing. Also, if your computer itself is low-powered enough, then processing the battle data takes too long, and the progress checker again finds that no progress happens, kills the download, even though it is done, and tries again. So even if it functionally, your computer took too long to do the processing, but it succeeded, it could actually get canceled by the downloader because the downloader would kill the progress even though it had actually completed.
Okay,
I'm here. Thank you, because that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I'm here for the technical post and the technical post only. Okay.
Oh, welcome.
Okay.
Come on in.
What?
Explain the surprisingly part. Huh?
So here's.
Okay, everybody quiet. Dr. Phil, it's your floor.
Okay, so first off, I read this and I immediately read this as a read between the lines kind of a post, because it's written by an engineer who really doesn't actually know what his game loader does, for a start. The specific game loader that he's trying to say that it is, and the game is only 8 megs worth of files, or the game loader is only 8 megs worth of files. 8 megs worth of files is nothing. Even with a bottleneck 20 megabit connection, you're pulling down 1.4 megabytes per second. So here's bullshit, and I'm going to call it bullshit, and I'm going to call it like it is, because it is. The 8 megs is not 8 megs. If that was a thing. So the game would take less than 10 seconds to load, and then have the bottleneck to the server, to the battle servers, to all of the game data, to the game clients, to your account, to every single unit that you own, and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. You following me so far?
Yes, I am. Yeah, because I didn't think that's that much data to begin with either.
No.
8 meg is enough.
8 meg is a sneeze. I've probably ran more than 8 meg jumping into this hangout. But that's beside the point. This game loader is a bullshit excuse for something that they cannot capitalize on. They've struggled with game loading times from day one. The more they add to the game, the longer the
worse it gets.
The longer the load times, the worse it gets. The more things that you own. Depots, units, tunes, everything, all the way from the mines to the trees that sit in your base, to all of the walls that you put in, to your helipads, to your CC, to every single goddamn turret platform, everything.
Dr. Phil, can I ask you something, man?
You can.
All right. The first thing that caught my eye about this post was the progress checker, and that's the first thing I thought of. And I'm wondering, could the progress checker be causing the fucking lag?
The progress checker doesn't exist. What he calls a progress checker, I call anti-cheat measures. Anti-cheat measures. And that's what they should be called, because that's exactly what they are. It's
checking to see if you're trying to interject other code in data stream. Is that what that's trying to do?
That's exactly what
So I mean, I'm not the most tech savvy person, but I'm like,
allow me to incorporate it for you.
Finish up.
Now, immediately, a whole bunch of people are going to jump all over me for explaining this.
Oh, don't risk anything.
No, I'm going to do it. I have nothing to lose.
Okay.
The way this is done, or if rather it used to be done like this in the old days, and we'll take Battle Pirates, for instance. Battle Pirates runs on an SWF, just like War Commander does, and just like Vega did back before the switch to Unity. And what the old cheaters used to do was inject a copy of the SWF file that was modified through various programs into the game, so that they could cheat whatever they wanted. And the more checklists and the more checksums that you have, and I know David is screaming NDA in the side chat, and none of this violates anything I have signed, so you can shut up. And this is the thing that they check. Everything that goes through the checksums, if you've already been checked through a period of time, it tends to go past the checksum and then check you again at another point. It's why when you refresh, if you play the game for a day and then log off for 24 hours, you'll have the checksum when you come back. If you're refreshing from playing the game for 3 or 4 hours, the game won't take as long to load. And you can all attest to that. I can attest to that.
Yes.
Because the checks don't need to repeatedly happen. And you have a cached file of the current game with the current valid checksum in it. Mm-hmm. The fake progress is one of those kind of bars. He calls it fake progress. It's more like a fake news sort of deal. But the idea is that he said there that the idea that is the downloader will catch up. No, the download is already finished. It just hasn't done all of the checksums to do it. So not only is the fake progress not fake progress, it's lying to your fucking face.
Yeah. The progress is already completed while you're watching this far.
You said
make a comment, but don't stop.
Yeah, it's not going to take long. You said that it gets stored in a cache. So if you clear your web browser every time you refresh, do you go through that check every single time?
Yes, you will.
Okay.
So that's why when you experience latency, the support always tells you to clear your cookies and cache.
Yes, because usually throughout read between the lines, when support tells you to clear your cookies and cache, they're asking you for a new checksum.
Yeah.
And if you can get in and have no issues, and then support can scan it with the fresh checksum that's available through said cache file, they can know if you're legitimate or not.
See, if they would just tell us this in the support tickets.
It goes against Kickside policy to actually admit there's something wrong with the game.
Why would you do that when there are smart people around that know exactly what that is?
Because Kickside, as the company as a whole, don't operate on wanting anything that the player base will give them. Unless it can make profit in any way, shape, or form, Kickside do not want to know. It's why a lot of the suggestions for a lot of the reductions that we've made and a lot of the changes that we've asked for have never come to fruition.
But that
because they're not profitable to do so.
But that begs the question, why have support tickets when you can fix it right up front? I mean, if they did this
a lot of time and a lot of money.
Yeah, money
easier. It's a lot simpler, and it costs nothing for Kickside to give you 50 gold for an issue that you suffer through, knowing that if you suffer through it 20 times, you'll get paid off compensation 10, as opposed to spending $150,000 over the course of this next month, getting somebody to come in and completely tear apart this and fix this issue. I mean,
this loading thing is a smoke screen. There's nothing actually wrong with it.
I totally agree.
There is nothing wrong with the loader at all. I mean, yeah, you will if every once in a while experience the clock out of sync, which is the checksum. I've had that. The gear icon. When you're coming in and out of a repeated base or you're hitting multiple res bases, you're going too fast for the checksum to keep up with you.
Or the flash crash
flash crash. Now, flash crash is a software problem. That's ironically, that's too much in the game and your computer not being able to handle it, or that's too much data coming at you for flash, because flash is its own bottleneck.
Yeah. I've got to the point now where if I hit 5 things, 5 bases, 5 shadow ops, 5 whatevers, I shut the game down and flush the cache because I know it's gonna die. And I've got a screaming computer.
My only concerns. Go ahead.
Shout out to. Let me give a quick shout out there. Shout out to all the stupid motherfuckers who hold depots.
Hey, now.
Well, again, real quickly, we were talking about these group, community-based events with this clan-based stuff. One of the clan-based things that they were spitballing was this collect depots fucking thing.
That ain't gonna happen. That knocks you out like you wouldn't believe.
No, getting that error message for the depots is bullshit, because I didn't have any depots and I disconnected and it said error loading depots and I don't own any.
Well, when they do, let me tell you something. I'll be happy to admit this right now because I'm gonna go through with it when it happens. If Kickside does some stupid thing where they have the clans collect all the depots and try to hold on to them, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fucking have fun PvPing. Because so many people are going to have so many lag issues. I'm going to fucking go jumping sector to sector and smash shit out of people. Why is it so fucking glitchy?
What I was gonna say before is today when I was playing the game, I disconnected, I flash crashed, whatever. So I refreshed, cleared everything out, and I got the clock out of sync error 5 times in a row in the span of half an hour.
Oh yeah, I've had it multiple times.
that means the flash file that was downloaded was corrupted, which does happen.
That does happen, and that's another point that he hasn't actually mentioned anything about. He's mentioned about jerky downloads. He's mentioned about something about next bit downloading unpacked and setting up the game's code, and blah blah blah. The game is one single folder with multiple different iterations,
different tasks
through everything. I mean, everything that you have has its own set of stuff. The gun on your Liberator, the Liberator itself, the firing mechanism, all of the sprites, all of the shadows, all of the art designs that come with it, the AI, its mechanics, the lot.
Yep. The more stuff you got, the more tech it's going to get.
Which is another reason why I've been so adamant about the art teams wasting so much effort making this a pretty game instead of making it a functioning game. If they toned down a lot of this stuff and limited it, it would reduce sprite. I mean, my biggest concern, I've been lucky. It's not been as much loading the game outside of course, the most important points in time when you have events going on or whatever. But yes, we all have the loading game issues. But when you load and then reload in, when you leave a base and it loads you into a different sprite, a different base layout, and then you leave your base to go out to the world map, but it flashes you back into your base. These kinds of issues where it's almost like it doesn't understand the function or the task that you asked it to complete, and it just reverts you back to the last point in which the game was at. That's the question that I had. Is that a matter of lost data packets between my computer and them, where it just reverts back to the last known piece of information?
You're talking which area are you talking about here? The red box?
Going back to the base.
I'm talking about, okay, I'm in my base, I complete a task, the double load. I go out to the world map, but instead of me going out to the world map, it flashes me back into the base.
Because up until a couple of months ago, it wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, I know.
And it only happened to me during eventing time. Now, whether that is another checksum on top of another checksum, which is just ridiculous and sounds like bad code to me, because I get it repeatedly.
The double load happens with one-use only units. That's when it started, when the zombies came out. Every time you unlocked a one-use only unit in the event, it double loaded your damn base.
Yeah.
It did it to me after every goddamn load last event. So that's
annoying.
It is annoying, and I wish they would sort it out. As for him appealing to the non-standard platform, I don't know of any other standard platforms other than the ones he's mentioned, Kickside, Facebook, and Game Room.
Well, I think he's talking about running on the phone.
No, running it on the phone is done through browser. Running it on the mobile is done through browser, which is done through Kickside.com or Facebook.com.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how that works. Because it's embedded to do that. There's no official support for mobile platforms.
Are there still is there a possibility of like the Indian or the Asian markets having a platform that they run this game through?
This one, no.
Okay.
I don't think
I'm just relating that because I know the currency issue that we had.
I know they do have their own Asian market for Vega, at least, because because of a currency conversion and a lot of the other monetary values of it. But again, he says you're playing the game and it makes me happy. No, we're playing the game and it's paying your pay packet. That's why it makes you happy. At least if you're going to say it, say the whole fucking line.
Yeah, but
as for the memory modification, that's
not good. That's no bueno.
That is no bueno.
I don't like that
because
at all.
that does imply somebody is modifying game code for hilarious sound effects instead of the proper ones. As much as hilarious sound effects are, as much as we all like hilarious stuff.
I don't care. I have a personal zero tolerance for any of that shit. I don't care.
That's a third-party modification and violates the terms of service. Whether it be stupid or not, it's a modification of the in-game code, which is A, violation of the terms of service, and B, just simply bad. Because if you can go and modify sound effects, what else?
You can do anything.
Are you going to modify while you're going to be there? Because if I'm going to go and modify files like that, I wouldn't do it for sound effects. I'd do it for personal gain. And that's me being completely honest. You
modify something, you are cheating in my book.
And for him to come out and say that, it's just not. It's not. He should have rethought his sentencing. He should have omitted that.
He should have omitted that completely, and he should have. He just sort of like some of you who run the game with memory modifications should not do it at all, and he should not. Rather than making it sound amusing, he should completely deplore that kind of thing.
Yeah, he says the deserving parties are those that try to run this with, third-party modifications, that kind of thing. Those deserve to have these issues.
Third-party modifications go into the terms of service. Third-party application modifications, decompiling, rewriting source code, completely illegal towards the terms of service. It's like now, in the States at least, jailbreaking phones is illegal because it's modification of the original software via third-party applications. Not only does it violate your own warranty and the terms of service that you signed when you bought the phone, now you're violating the law by doing so. And the same principle applies, although KIXEYE isn't isn't law-breaking. To a point, it's still a violation of KIXEYE's terms of service.
All right. Anything else you have to add?
And the third part that he actually admitted the game loader isn't as clever as it pretends to be. And that, again, is a lie. Because the game loader is extremely clever for what it does. A lot of it is a smokescreen. And it is a lot of read between the lines of what he said. I don't like it. I mean, the guy's come in, he's put itself forward, he's put this post down. Obviously, management of some way, shape, or form have approved it. And now you've got this drivel. Downloading through a 3G network is much less fun than a broadband collection.
No shit, Sherlock. Yeah. It's like saying watching on Blu-rays.
If your phone isn't 8 years old, you're probably on 4G or LTE like the rest of us, and you're not a peasant. And 4G.
That's like saying it. That's like saying you can drive faster in a Lamborghini than you can in a Pinto.
Or
well, I don't know. If you take a Lamborghini engine and put a Lamborghini engine in a Pinto, you're good to go.
I saw a Jaguar in a van.
I knew a guy that put a Porsche 911 engine in an old VW Beetle, and it was hilarious because the engine.
I regret bringing up that.
Fuck that.
The principle is the same. The principle is the same. But again, he goes on to say a lot of things that actually mean nothing, and a lot of players aren't going to understand it to the level that I am, and even my explanation isn't going to disseminate to 90% of the player base like I expect it would, because my explanations go over a lot of people's heads.
Technical.
It is a very technical post. It's a lot like it's simplified, but it's not simplified enough. It's like the Sobocop post. Even though the guy's only ever done one post, I explain the post, and people have asked me to dumb it down. And even with the dumbing down of a lot of the stuff, it's still real hard to understand if you can't read between the lines.
Well, like I said, this being the first time I had seen it and seeing certain things it makes me pause to contemplate that this doesn't exactly explain what it's intending to explain.
It explains very little in my eyes, and to qualify the last bit that he's put is the fix is to be less clever, more transparent, and make less assumptions. The loader doesn't show fake download progress. Why? Why does that even? The loader doesn't even need to be changed. It can stay exactly the way it is. Have a better progress bar, perhaps. Have more explanation of what's happening in the corner. loading file X of whatever.
Yeah, you run your percentages of, file, sprite pack, whatever you fucking want to talk about.
Files, sprites.
When
it's like when you're applying a patch to something on a PC game, for instance, especially in the old days. Not only would you have the installer, you'd have the installer, and it would go through the list of the files that it was either installing or has modified to get the 1.2 patch or whatever else has been installed on top of that. Not just the progress bar and nothing else.
Exactly.
Even Battle Pirates has a better loader screen than that.
Most things you have your download, you have your checking for updates, you have your applications, all these bars go through, it does the full process, and you're up and running. It's not a single task bar and you're done.
The only thing I can take positive from this, he did say right at the end, it take nothing of the explanation. You'll still see 99% at the max because it appears to hang at the time where it finishes dealing with the battle engine's data. And that's the last step before you get into the game. And of course, depending on the processor time, it still hasn't rectified said hang up. No.
So players, they're saying that they fixed this 99% error in the fixes notes, but okay.
The 99% error, that one is down to your processing power as well as theirs.
Okay.
That's why you will, and I've done it myself, I've been sat on the loading screen, and the loading screen will hang. You'll have the pop-up, and it will tell you that Flash isn't responding. Give it 10 to 15 seconds, and the whole thing will go away, and then the game will load. If you don't get the hang-up screen, that's when you've crashed completely at 99%, and you won't go further than that, and you'll have to refresh and start the whole process again.
I'll say that back when I did this about 3 years ago, when I got the 99% hang, it was due to the number of depots, which is one of the reasons why I don't get them anymore. But at that time, I was able to gather up over 1,200 of them, and it kept me logged out from the game. And actually, I had to have a friend go in and take some of the depots just so I can get into the game. And
that's Battle.
Yep, and Kickside just basically said, you have too many depots, and you have to give them up, otherwise you're not going to get back in the game, and we can't do anything to help you. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Well, they can, they just won't.
Yeah.
Well, not like that, but how do you get in contact with one of your buddies to take some of your depots when you can't get in the damn game?
Well, I just went to Facebook and contacted one of the company and just said,
via a third-party application.
Yep. Exactly.
And I had to get down. They told me that you shouldn't have more than 500 so that you don't have that problem. But I didn't have that problem until I broke 1,200. I know now it's a different story.
You were in my. I remember those days.
You can't do that with today's things. But back then, it must have been, I'm going to say 3 years ago, because I don't think I've owned a depot since then.
And then I left the sector, and they all cried because nobody knew whose was what, and
and that's that. But thank you.
Thank you. You're always welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
All right. Okay. With that said, and that wonderful thank you description of what's going on, is there anything in the UTAB that people have a question about? Is there anything on the panel topics that you would like to discuss? If not so, we will bring this episode to a close. As I said, I don't like to do long episodes, so
I'd say wrap it up.
Yeah, I see nothing from the peanut gallery here.
You're the show, man.
Dr. Phil, would you have to go? Well, I don't have
to go. I said you're the showman. It's your show.
No. I heard. I thought it was Godscope said he had to go.
Yeah, I gotta go uptown and buy smokes.
Well, then you can wait.
Well, I can't wait 10 minutes. You sit the fuck down.
So, Dr. Phil, as our last one here, I will give you the first honors. If you would like to say any shout outs to the community, please feel free.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Open format. Anything you'd like to say.
Easy. Oh, don't tell him that. God.
No, David, shut up. David, just give me my moment, okay? I'm not gonna go crazy. I promise. I won't go crazy. I've done enough of it. Are you gonna cry? No.
Just for the last moment, just so I can fuck with your mojo. Remember, I've booted you once.
Speak your mind, Doc, please.
As the mouse covers the mute button.
He has booted me once already. He's the only guy to ever boot me from a live show, ever,
and not get killed.
And not get killed for the. I mean, I roasted. I did.
Hey, no,
I know I did.
It's fine. You got your just desserts. What I fucked up.
They're calling for it, so I have to channel in the immortal words of Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Oh.
You're fired.
Oh, jeez. There we go. This is ready to rumble.
Sound like Trump.
All right. Is that all, sir?
That's it.
Okay. The real Slim Shady. Would you please give your final words?
Yeah, shout out to the panel. Shout out to the people watching at home. There you
go. Short, sweet, to the point. Love this. The Rambo, the one and only.
Yo, Adrian. I want to thank everybody here on the panel who welcomed me onto the show finally after many tries. And I think we all learned a lot of good stuff today. Hopefully, future shows will teach us even more. If anybody needs to know anything, always come on and feel free to ask. Shout out to the YouTubers, and we'll see you next week.
Lady Warrior.
Shout out to the panel. Shout out to everybody out there in YouTube land. Thank you for once again coming and listening to us talk about the game and whatever else pops up. Thanks, Dr. Phil, for coming on and explaining that technical stuff, because what he wrote sure was over my head. And I didn't get it. I think that's it for me.
Thank you. Next in line. Yes?
Oh.
Yep.
Shout out to my friends here on the panel. Shout out to everyone on YouTube. Skipjack. Miss you, Skipjack. Shadow Killer in your tin hat. Everyone else. Peace out.
Forgot his midget porn.
And his fucking moped and his bank shields.
Godscope. Shout outs. Last words. You can go grab your smokes.
Just thanks for letting me come on to the show. Thanks to everybody for watching and supporting us. And yeah, shout out to Wolfpack, my alliance.
Well, first I want to cut you short and say there is no thanking for letting you on the show. This is now an open format to allow new voices and new faces, and it's going to continue that way.
A bunch of drama and bullshit went down the last couple of days, so thank you for letting me on the show.
Yeah.
Well, look. Yeah, that aside,
can I talk about that or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Another time. Another time.
All right.
Dizier.
I would like to say thank you to the panel. Thank you to the viewers in YouTube, both now and in the future. To Skipjack, for whatever reason, Kickside will not let her join our show anymore, which I think is BS. To the Shadow Killer, and most importantly, to my clan, Hell's Knights, y'all have a good night.
Jan Douche.
Go Champ. I'll go right before you.
All right. Champ, would you like to give your shout-outs? See, I don't think he's there.
Yeah, I'm here. Shout out to you guys on the panel. Thanks. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Shout out to you fuckers out there on YouTube. I love you guys. Hey, shout out to Kickside. Champ for president. That's a good one. I'm not. There's no way, man. Trump is too good, man.
Oh, all right, bye, Champ.
I just want to give one final shout out to a friend who's come back to the game after 3 years of being gone. Love you. We're gonna help you get you back, and yeah, that's my shout outs.
we're gonna have to get a cheerleader outfit to put underneath that smiley face.
I'm sorry, I gotta say this. There's like 4 or 5 people from my sector watching the show right now, and they're in YouTube, or they're in the world chat right now, posting all their depots, giving them away.
Is that what that was? Because I just saw it, and like I'm clicking, I'm like, what are these all about? And wait a minute, and BJ, for me to be first lady, that means I would have to marry Champ or Trump, and Trump's married, and I love Champ.
Not for long.
I'm not getting married ever again, so I can't be first lady. But thank you.
First lady.
No, yes, first. David, my wonderful second in arms and co-producer,
partner in crime. Sorry.
No, with that being said, I'm actually going to up my normal little shout out at the end. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages.
Generation X.
Shut up.
Let him go. Let him have his moment. Shh.
God damn it, Doc, shut up. So, with that being said, I'm going to start the hell over. So, fuck you, Doc.
You can't start that without thinking immediately about Billy Gunn and Kevin Nash, D-Generation X. Come on.
Yes,
Not Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
That's
Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, Jesse James, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and X-Pac.
Yep.
Oh.
X-Pac.
All right. So, back
Hi,
to
Candy. Sorry.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. War Commander Unshackled is proud to present to you the best show on YouTube. The one and only show. So with that, all the millions and millions of watching this later will enjoy this show. And if you ain't down with that, I got 2 words for you.
Shut up, David.
Dave's a douche.
I was expecting Bill to say "fuck off."
Oh, Undertaker, more eye candy. Oh, sorry. Y'all are putting all these sexy guy wrestlers out there, and I'm like, ooh, eye candy.
Undertaker
yes. And yes,
is
I know what
anything
you're
but
talking.
sexy.
He's like
Undertaker is my sweetheart. Oh my God.
He's always my favorite. So
his tits hang down lower than Ric Flair's.
Undertaker and Kevin Nash and me, and I'm a happy woman. Sorry.
Those guys
So yes, I do happen to know a little bit about wrestling. I did used to watch
break it up.
All right. Now somebody turn the cold water on Lady Warrior.
right?
All right. So I want to first give my shout out to the community at large. I don't pigeonhole any one person. We're all in this together. We're a big family. I intend, for the short time that I'm able, to continue to make these shows progressive and serve the community, not individuals. I don't do politics. I don't tolerate that shit, and I won't tolerate that shit. So, that said, next episode that I run, we will certainly do a more open format for new faces to come on. I was happy, I'm very, very happy to see Slim on today, and Rambo and some others that are not always commonplace. I appreciate having our guest Dr. Phil popping in again. He's not forgotten, so I'll dispel any of those myths and rumors. But there will be no more drama, no more bullshit.
Nope.
I'm talking about me.
Shut up, David.
I forgot him about 5 seconds ago.
So yeah, so
that's because you have the memory of a goldfish.
Let him finish. Let the man finish.
Next week, be prepared to keep your eyes on the Unshackled page. When I post the show post, you will soon after see the pre-show Hangouts post. So if you want to join the panel, keep your eyes out there. So if you're not a member of Unshackled's page, I suggest you sign up. We'll try to put this out a little bit better, and in a minute I'm going to post the Hangouts, depending on how many people drop out of here, and you guys can have a fun after show for you guys out there in YouTube land who want to chat with some of these guys, these ragtag bunch. But I appreciate all you for joining us, watching now, and those that will watch later. I hope to see you all next week, this time, same channel. Good night, everybody. Oh,
good night, everyone.
Before I forget, check out the posts. Support City and his email for his help doing Lonnie and his trials with his health. So keep that in mind. Keep supporting him. We're going to be here for him until his medical issues are all taken care of.
The positive vibes coming, guys. Really,
absolutely. If you know him and you can contact him, you can send him good well wishes and good words of encouragement.
I wouldn't know. Don't even do that.
I'm just saying.
Send him some funny shit.
Send him funny stuff.
Send him nude pics of midgets. That'll make him laugh.
Loves that.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yep.
All right, everybody.
Killer now.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Take it easy, folks.
Later.
Abadi